Pointer Fox with Samantha Pointer Enterprises, and it is time for another Tech Chat with Samantha. Today, I am asking the question: do you know how people are coming to you? That means, do you know how they're coming to your website? Do you know how they got on your product page? Do you know how they even became a client or a customer? Well, if you don't, then this is the tech chat for you because we're going to be talking about one of the systems you should have set up in your business, and that is your traffic system. So, I'm going to talk today about three things to put in place right now to start tracking your traffic. So, let's start with number one: Google Analytics. Google Analytics is your friend when you want to know how people are coming to your website, when you want to know how people are interacting with your email, interacting with your videos. Google Analytics gives you a plethora of data to find those things out. So, what is Google Analytics? It is a product by Google that uses code to track how people are interacting with wherever that code is, whether that's your website, your course site, your marketing site, your product site, whatever it is. Google Analytics can track that. And the great thing about it, it is free. You can sign up today. Just type in Google Analytics, sign up, get that set up. Now, I know it could be a little overwhelming for most people because of the amount of information that you can get out of Google Analytics and the amount of things you can track. But one thing I do for my clients is when I set up their Google Analytics, I set up certain things to track that's easy, and you don't have to dive into the weeds of things if you don't want to. So keep that in mind if you're like, oh my God, I don't even want to touch that, because this is an important piece of tracking how you're getting, how your marketing efforts are, basically. So, Google Analytics, go ahead, sign up. It's free to use. And if you're one of those do-it-yourselfers, of course, you can jump on YouTube. There's a ton of videos on how to do that. But if you're a business owner and you want someone to do that for you, definitely book a technology breakthrough call with me. So that's number one, Google Analytics. Now, the number two thing you want to set up is UTMs. So, what are UTMs? Well, UTMs is basically just a little snippet of text that is added onto the end of URLs that helps Google Analytics or any analytics software you use to track where things are coming from, how it's getting to you. So I have an example that I'm going to show of what a UTM looks like. So this is a UTM I set up to track my course website, right? So you see one of the UTMs is for the medium. So I was using this on social. So that is one thing it was tracking. And then I was tracking the source. And this particular link I put on Twitter. So that was going to tell me that I'm getting whoever clicks this link, it tells me that it's coming from Twitter. And then you have the campaign. So the campaign for me was in my Rebrandly link tree at the time. So those were the things I was tracking. So you can track one thing, you can track three things, you can track whatever. The simplest thing you can track, though, to find out how people are coming to you is usually the source. So UTM-source. So you'll see on here, let me get out of there. So if you just pay attention now and look up at browsers, you'll see a very long link. That's because that company or whatever is tracking how you landed on their site or how you got to them. So those are what UTMs are. They help you measure your marketing activities. You always want to know, what's driving your revenue, and UTMs are a great way to do that and to set up. Now, again, that's something I help my clients do, is set up UTM tracking. I have custom databases that I give to them to make that process easy. But I've also linked here, you can go to buffer.com/library UTM guide. If you look on the screen, that's a great guide, again, for the person who wants to jump in right now and do it themselves, to break down what UTMs are. But the benefits of this, again, is to track your marketing efforts, know how people are coming to you, and to see trends in your marketing. And UTMs tell your analytics software, whether that's Google Analytics or something else, it tells that software how the information it needs of how the person got to you, and how the person, not only how the person got to you, but where they're coming from, who referred them, what campaign worked. All of that is tied up in UTMs. And so this is the second thing you need to set up after setting up Google Analytics or whatever analytics software you're wanting. Okay. Now, let's get to the third thing. And this by far is probably the most important thing that you can set up, that is going to make all the work of Google Analytics and UTMs be of use to you, of the information you're tracking. And that is a solid strategy. It does you no good to collect all of this data, all of this information, if you're just going to sit on it or do nothing with it. You're going to want to have a plan in place. And most people, they don't do anything with the data they collect, even if they, randomly had set up Google Analytics because, someone told them to. If you don't have a solid strategy in place, you're not going to know what to do with the information, let alone how to act on this information. And we want to act on the information we're collecting. We just don't want to be collecting for the sake of collecting. So having a solid strategy is key. Again, that is what I help my clients do first, is the strategy part. We map out that strategy of, what we're trying to do with our marketing automation, and what that looks like, naming conventions. All of that starts with a solid strategy. So if you want help setting up a solid strategy for putting all this tracking in place, so you can start to find out how people are coming to you, how you're generating revenue, then I definitely think you should book a technology breakthrough session with me. You can go to organizingguru.com/15. You can get on a call with me and we can talk about your goals for your marketing automation and your sales automation, and get these things in place for your business. So again, let's recap. The first thing you're going to want to set up, in order to know how people are coming to you, where they're coming from, what marketing strategy is working, what isn't, is Google Analytics. Again, it's free. You can get it set up. You don't have to track everything, but just putting some basic things, start tracking some basic things, just putting the code on your website, you'll be amazed the information it tells you right off the bat. Number 2 is UTMs. UTMs give the information to Google Analytics or whatever analytics software you are using. That's where it's getting this information from. And I try to use UTMs on everything now, because I want to know everything that I'm putting out there, am I getting a return on that? Am I getting a return on my efforts? Especially if you run ads or anything like that, you definitely want to put UTMs in place. And then the third thing we talked about is a solid strategy. Nothing happens without a solid strategy. If you want to be successful in your marketing efforts, in your business, and growing your revenue and scaling, you're going to want to have a solid strategy in place. You want to map things out before you jump into any technology tool, before you employ any new thing. You want to map out a solid strategy. And again, that is something that I help my clients do all of the time, is to map out a solid strategy for their marketing and sales automation systems. So if you would like to talk to me about that, book your session. It's a free session at organizingguru.com/15. I would love to talk to you further about this. This is just one of a few systems we're going to talk about in the coming weeks. There are 6 systems you really need to have in place in your business. And so this first system is focused on your traffic. How are you getting your traffic? How are they coming to you? You really got to know how that's happening. And so if you set these 3 things up, you're well on your way to really building and scaling your business and making more revenue just by putting these things in place. So again, this is one of 6 systems we're going to be talking about on the next few tech chats. So make sure you tune in every week so you can learn what your business needs and to correct putting this in place if you don't have it in place. Again, I would love to talk to you further about that. You can go to organizingguru.com/15 to book your technology breakthrough session. And because I help my clients all the time put these things in place for their business, and I would love to help you put these things in place for your business. So that's all I have today for Tech Chat. I will see you next week for another Tech Chat. If you have any questions, definitely drop them in the comment section. Share this with a business owner or someone you know that needs these systems in place. Make sure you share it with them. I would love that. And see you next week. Bye.